I will say this. I am so saddened and disturbed by the fact that political violence is so normalized in this country. It's all over the country. And I was just reading this morning, a recent University of Chicago poll examined support for political violence in the United States. And there is more support for violence today against Trump and others. Against Trump, 10% of American adults think it's okay. And 26 million American adults who support violence to prevent Trump from regaining the presidency. More than 30,000 of those own guns, and almost 80% have access to internet organizational tools. That's despicable.
Of course!
After 2 attempts on the life of Donald Trump, the media is now calling for a toning down of the rhetoric, but not on both sides, just on the Republicans and Donald Trump's campaign. Because, of course, the left, their hands are always clean. Never mind the fact that you have a history of radical, socialist, Marxists actually taking political rhetoric and turning it violent, because that's how they intimidate voters. That's how they gain power. But never mind history. Who wants to learn from that? What I want to focus on today, of course, is Byron Donalds eviscerating reporters over at CNN. Let's check this out.
There's a problem also, in the general rhetoric of the campaign that the term that is often criticized, but that if you want to say both sides should address, but right, logically?
Well, actually, let's dig into this a little bit more, and thank you for bringing this up. Yes, we've heard from the Springfield mayor, and nobody wants bomb threats or anything like that. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been talking about reports coming out of Springfield. J.D. Vance represents the state of Ohio. He's talking about things that his constituents have brought to him. But let's compare that to the fact that Kamala Harris in the debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke a negative energy around the campaign of Donald Trump, frankly, to affect these undecided voters that we talked about at the top.
What does she want to talk about? I mean, Congressman, you and I have gone back and forth a lot about like fact-checking that can happen.
Kate, can you acknowledge that Kamala Harris lied about the Charlottesville comments? Again, something that even Snopes has debunked and said is fake news, that it is wrong, that his statements were taken out of context. Those are the direct lies coming from Kamala Harris. So if you're going to talk about the invective put into this campaign that Kamala Harris and her campaign has done, trying to invoke a negative response from voters in our country versus Donald Trump talking about issues, whether it be in a city or, quite frankly, you could bring up Aurora, Colorado, or you could bring up Denver, Colorado, that have been overrun by illegal immigrants.
There are lots of things that can be brought up, which is also, if you're talking about lies and you're talking about comparisons, you can talk about a long list of lies. We could walk through it. I don't think it is to the benefit of voters right now for me to walk through to remind them of the lies that Donald Trump has told.
So when the left is caught red-handed actually calling for acts of violence, what do they turn around and do? Oh, both sides do it. Please, we have to lower the temperature. But I love how Byron Donalds actually points out, remember all the lies that Kamala Harris has told about Donald Trump? Just in that debate alone, you have the very fine people on both sides lie, which is easily fact-checked. You have the bloodbath comments made, of course, in relation to the auto industry. But all of this is brought to the front as an example of Donald Trump being an awful person. Sure, we call the left Marxists and socialists because that's what they are. They have admitted to it. They run on it. Looking at you, AOC, okay? And what have those political parties done in the past? Exactly what is happening now. Threats, intimidation, encouraging their voters to get out there and be violent. This is unacceptable, but the left can't handle it because of whataboutism. And I wish Byron Donalds would have brought up the actual governor saying that, hey, all those bomb threats were actually hoaxes.
At least 33 separate bomb threats, each one of which has been responded to, and each one of whom has been found as a hoax. So 33 threats, 33 hoax. I will make that very, very clear. None of these had any validity at all.
But of course, we hate to poke holes in all of their arguments. But let's go ahead and see what Don Lemon has to say.
By at least the effort, I think it's right to sort of lower the temperature. But for Donald Trump and his folks to say and J.D. Vance to say that it's Democrats who are causing this.
Right, you just heard J.D. Vance say that.
That's an issue. I wrote down some notes when I saw it. Do you mind if I read this?
Yeah, no, because you know what? Actually, I want you to know you were sitting just off,
I was just sitting
set when we played the J.D. Vance.
And I'll just get through some of it. So he's called everyone who works in this building the enemy of the people.
Yep.
Right? We had pipe bombs sent because he kept calling us the enemy of the people, and that CNN was fake news. Crooked Joe, Crooked Hillary, Crooked Kamala, Comrade Kamala, Deranged Jack Smith, Bird Brain Nikki Haley, Bloodbath if he's not elected. There won't be another election if he's not elected. Bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists. Poisoning the blood of our country, destroying the blood of our country, which was something that was Hitler-esque. Communist, Marxist, fascist, left-leaning that live like vermin. Sons of bitches to NBA players. Shithole countries. Haiti was one, and now he's blaming Haitian immigrants for things. Blood coming out of her wherever, as he talked about Megyn Kelly. And so if Donald Trump wants Kamala Harris and others to stop saying that he is a threat to democracy, then he should stop threatening democracy. Perhaps he shouldn't be trying to overturn elections, overthrow the government, and inciting insurrections.
Once again, the bloodbath comments rear their ugly head. Oh, and the crap hole countries like Haiti? Why in the world are they fleeing? Oh, is it because the warlords and the gang leaders have taken over the entire country? What happened to their government? What happened to their military? Oh, it's a crap hole. That's what happened. And of course, in that segment right there, Don Lemon called Trump Hitler-esque, right? Do you see what we're dealing with, people? Now, what are we saying on the right? Yes, these leftists, these communists, they do have a way they operate, and we're seeing it play out. But what are they saying on the left? Donald Trump must be stopped at all costs. And to really hammer this point home, we even had Hillary Clinton dragging her old bones out of the crypt. Check this out.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
Yes, you media outlets, you're not doing enough to call Donald Trump dangerous, right? To call him a threat to our democracy. Stick with it, right? We have to stop this man by any means necessary. Am I correct, Hillary? That's exactly what she's saying. It's like I'm taking crazy pills. The left is actively ignoring all of the statements that have been said by their crazy side over the last few years. But luckily, Donald Trump has them out ready to go. Down here from Kamala Harris, Trump is a threat to our democracy and fundamental freedoms. It's on us to recognize the threat Trump poses. From Joe Biden, it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There is one existential threat. It's Donald Trump. Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. Down here from Representative Dan Goldman, he is destructive to our democracy and he has to be eliminated. Representative Steve Cohen, Trump is an enemy of the United States. Representative Maxine Waters, are Trump supporters preparing a civil war against us? I want to know about all those right-wing organizations that Trump is connected with up training in those hills. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Trump is an existential threat to our democracy. Adam Schiff, Trump is the gravest threat to our democracy. Gregory Meeks, Trump cannot be president again. He's an existential threat. Representative Stacey Plaskett, Trump needs to be shot. I mean, holy crap. How much more explicit can they be? They're saying what's on their minds, and I don't even think they believe this. I think they're just saying it in the hopes that some crazy will take it seriously or that they'll actually swing some voters in their direction. The whataboutism doesn't work anymore because we know how the left operates. We're going to call it out every single chance we get. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.